Richard, 2012 was a really busy year for you. Las Vegas opened in early summer, and 3 months ago, Orlando was open. What do you think are the common threads between these new store openings?
I think we picked up a lot of interesting things from our development in Las Vegas. One of the big things we did there, as we spoke earlier, was really nail down what the passengers were all about. They're very specific, they're not all the same. We took that retail science, applied it to Las Vegas. The results have been astounding, they're still going strong. We took that and applied it here in Orlando. So the real common thread is build something around the people and the type of people that are coming into your shop. So, you'll see later that this shop is not the same as Las Vegas. In fact, it's quite a bit different because the PAX profile is different. So I would say in terms of commonality, that is by far the biggest thing between the two.
You've partnered here with DFAS. Now, turnover in 2011 was something approaching 15 million US dollars, yet you're predicting turnover of something in excess of $200 million over this 7-year term. What do you think are the key elements that will help drive sales to deliver those numbers?
I think the key element, again, comes back to design around the passenger profile. So when you look at the previous design, it was tired, there was a lack of investment. The first thing you're going to get is a pop just from new design, period, a new structure. You're going to get that right away. We got that. We also have the passenger profile built right into our design, which has already proven to give us big uplifts in sales in other properties. So we're on track in year one to do 22, 23 million, which is right on schedule with our projection of over 200 million. So far, so good.
So John, what do you see as the principal benefits of securing a 7-year concession deal?
Peter, I think there's two key benefits to a 7-year concession agreement. The first deals with capital improvements. It allows an operator to invest more in capital improvements and amortize that investment over a period of time, which is quite reasonable. Secondly, deals with staffing. By having a 7-year concession agreement, it allows you to attract and retain employees that are more qualified because there's certainty of term.
Andy, different location, different execution. Just walk us through this store as the passenger experiences it.
Certainly, but let me start by first explaining the principles that we apply when we start a store design process. So there are 4 key principles we use. 1 is creating a sense of place. 2 is ease of customer navigation. 3 is innovation. And 4 is clarity of offer. So when you look at the store as a customer, your first impressions are, first of all, you get to see everything inside the store. You walk at the front of the store, you can see MAC cosmetics, you can see the cosmetics along the wall, you can see the fashion at the back of the store, whether that be TAG or Tumi, and then you can see over to the liquor department. We also make the path through the store very clear. You can either go off to MAC, but then come back in, enter back into the fragrance area, walk through the store, back to the fashion, and then over to the liquor. And we did that purposely. This store, like many of our stores in the US, can service both duty-free and duty-paid customers. So in this case, we like to make sure that we put those items that the duty-paid customer, the domestic customer can buy right at the front of the store. So that, because we don't always have international customers going through the store. Also talk about a sense of place. When the RFP came out for this airport, the airport was very clear in terms of the colors they wanted us to use, the kinds of palettes, and the connection with the geography of the area, really bringing the water and the resort feeling together. So when you look around the store, you can see that the colors we've chosen are in line with that. In addition to that, in the center of the store, we created this wonderful piece of glass work that sits over our fragrance scent area.
What is it exactly?
Again, it's the colors. It ties back to colors that we've used to kind of create a feel and an atmosphere. And the reason the colors are so bold is that when you get to the front of the store, you're really drawn into it. And this is
It's
actually
a magnet, that's for sure.
And this is where we run our fragrance HPPs and our scent bar in this area. And then the last piece is really the innovation. We've brought in a scent bar, we've brought in a liquor tasting area to find ways to engage the customer during their visit through the store.
I mean, you crammed a lot in. It's only 5,000 square feet, but for a US store, that's pretty sizable still, isn't it?
It is a fair-sized store in the U.S. That's right. I mean, for us, it still ranks in our top sizing of stores, and we did put a lot in. We put those brands in that were related to the customers or the passengers that we knew were flying through here, which are mainly British and Brazilians. So if you talk about the Brazilians as an example, we know that one of the big driving factors for their purchase in the cosmetic area is color cosmetics. So we managed to put in a 285 square foot MAC cosmetic counter at the front of the store. We also know that a big driver for them is fashion. And so as a result of that, we added some luxury fashion brands that weren't here before. Brands like Tag, Mont Blanc, Tumi, Longchamp, and plus we have a good offering of fragrances, again addressing both the Brazilian and the British. For the British customers, again, a lot of focus on the fragrance area and a lot of focus in the liquor area. So we put a lot of liquor inside the store. Tobacco is behind the cash desk. There we're trying to meet FDA regulations.
I mean, as a major airport operator, you always seem to evolve your product. Nothing stands still with you guys. I mean, there were learnings from Las Vegas, there are clearly learnings from here. I mean, what do you think you're going to change in the coming months?
In this store, I mean, one of the areas that we're actually going back to revisit because of the British customer is we're going to do something a little bit bigger with Jack Daniel's. We think that there's an opportunity to kind of take the Jack Daniel's shop-in-shop concept we had in Las Vegas and put that concept in here in a much smaller way, but we think there's an opportunity. It is still a great souvenir item and our number one selling SKU when it comes to the British passenger in the liquor area.
So where do you go to from here, Richard? Do Las Vegas and Orlando effectively now represent a real blueprint for what the company's trying to achieve in North America?
I think it does represent a blueprint. It's fluid, it's an evolution, but the elements of what we learned both in Las Vegas and Orlando, we're going to get a chance to apply in Toronto in the coming year. So we have a massive redevelopment plan for that international terminal. We're going to take the things we've learned here, apply them to a much larger volume, which should be nothing but good things for our company.